Hello, you are Untitled Real Books, and today we'll talk about managing stress. Many of us experience stress in life, whether this in the short term from one-off projects or long-term stress from a high-pressure career. Not only can this be profoundly unpleasant, it can seriously affect our health and our work. However, it is possible to manage stress if you use the right tools and techniques. In today's video, we'll look at what stress is, what increases your risk of experiencing it, and how you can manage it so that it doesn't affect your well-being and productivity. But first, we want to warn you. Stress can cause severe health problems and, in extreme cases, death. While these stress management techniques have been shown to have a positive effect on reducing stress, they offer guidance only, and readers should take the advice of suitably qualified health professionals if they have any concerns over stress-related illnesses or if stress is causing significant or persistent unhappiness. Health professionals should also be consulted before any major change in diet or levels of exercise. So what is stress? A widely accepted definition of stress is a condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources the individual is able to mobilize. This means that we experience stress if we believe that we don't have the time, resources, or knowledge to handle a situation. In short, we experience stress when we feel out of control. This also means that different people handle stress differently in different situations. You'll handle stress better if you're confident in your abilities, if you can change the situation to take control, and if you feel that you have the help and support needed to do a good job. What are the reactions to stress? We have two instinctive reactions that make up our stress response. These are the fight-or-flight response and the general adaptation syndrome, GAS. Both of these reactions can happen at the same time. Walter Cannon identified the fight-or-flight response as early as 1932. It's a basic, short-term survival response which is triggered when we experience a shock or when we see something that we perceive as a threat. Our brains then release stress hormones that prepare the body to either fly from the threat or fight it. This energizes us, but it also makes us excitable, anxious, and irritable. The problem with the fight-or-flight response is that, although it helps us deal with life-threatening events, we can also experience it in everyday situations. For example, when we have to work to short deadlines, when we speak in public, or when we experience conflict with others. In these types of situations, a calm, rational, controlled, and socially sensitive approach is often more appropriate. General Adaptation Syndrome, GAS, which Hans Sayre identified in 1950, is a response to long-term exposure to stress. Sayre found that we cope with stress in three distinct phases. The alarm phase, where we react to the stressor. The resistance phase, where we adapt to and cope with the stressor. The body can't keep up resistance indefinitely, so our physical and emotional resources are gradually depleted. The exhaustion phase, where eventually we are worn down and we cannot function normally. Stress and the way we think. When we encounter a situation, we make two, often unconscious judgments. First, we decide whether the situation is threatening. This could be a threat to our social standing, values, time, or reputation, as well as to our survival. This can trigger the fight-or-flight response and the alarm phase of GAS. Next, we judge whether we have the resources to meet the perceived threat. These resources can include time, knowledge, emotional capabilities, energy, strength, and much more. How stressed we feel then depends on how far out of control we feel and how we feel we can meet the threat with the resources we have available. What are the signs of stress? Everyone reacts to stress differently. However, some common signs and symptoms of the fight-or-flight response include frequent headaches, cold or sweaty hands and feet, frequent heartburn, stomach pain or nausea, panic attacks, excessive sleeping or insomnia, persistent difficulty concentrating, obsessive or compulsive behaviors, social withdrawal or isolation, constant fatigue, irritability and angry episodes, significant weight gain or loss, consistent feelings of being overwhelmed or overloaded. What are consequences of stress? Stress impacts our ability to do our jobs effectively, and it affects how we work with other people. This can have a serious impact on our careers, our general well-being, and our relationships. Long-term stress can also cause conditions such as burnout, cardiovascular disease, stroke, depression, high blood pressure, and a weakened immune system. Sure, if you're stressed, the last thing you want to think about is how damaging it can be. However, you do need to know how important it is to take a stress seriously. And how to manage stress. The first step in managing stress is to understand where these feelings are coming from. Keep a stress diary to identify the causes of short-term or frequent stress in your life. As you write down events, think about why the situation stresses you out. Also, use the Holmes and Reyes stress scale to identify specific events that could put you at risk of long-term stress. Next, list these stresses in order of their impact. Which affects your health and well-being most, and which affect your work and productivity. Then, consider using some of the approaches to manage your stress. You're likely to be able to use a mix of strategies from each area. And the first one is action-oriented approaches. With action-oriented approaches, you take action to change the stressful situations. Managing your time. Your workload can cause stress if you don't manage your time well. This can be a key source of stress for very many people. Also, avoid multitasking, only check email at certain times, and don't use electronic devices for a while before going to bed, so that you use this time to switch off fully. Also, other people can be a significant source of stress. Working environment. Workspace stress can come from irritating, frustrating, uncomfortable or unpleasant conditions in the workplace. Take actions to minimize stress in your working environment. The second is emotion-oriented approaches. Emotion-oriented approaches are useful when the stress you're experiencing comes from the way that you perceive a situation. It can be annoying for people to say this, but a lot of stress comes from overly negative thinking. To change how you think about stressful situations, use cognitive restructuring, the ABC technique, thought awareness, rational thinking, and positive thinking to change the way that you perceive stressful events. Use affirmations and imagery to overcome short-term negative thinking so that you feel more positive about stressful situations. And the third one is acceptance-oriented approaches. Acceptance-oriented approaches apply to situations where you have no power to change what happens and where situations are genuinely bad. To build your defenses against stress, use techniques like meditation and physical relaxation to calm yourself when you feel stressed. Take advantage of your support network. This could only include your friends and family, as well as people at work and professional providers, such as counselors or family doctors. Get enough exercise and sleep, and learn how to make the most of your downtime so that you can recover from stressful events. Learn how to cope with change and build resilience so that you can overcome setbacks. So, we experience stress when we feel threatened and when we believe that we don't have the resources to deal with a challenging situation. Over time, this can cause long-term health problems, and it can also affect the quality of our work and our productivity. To control your stress, conduct a job analysis so that you know your most important priorities at work. Learn good time management strategies so that you can handle your priorities effectively. Try to let go of negative thinking habits and become a positive thinker by using affirmations and visualization. Also, create defenses against stressful situations that you cannot control. Use your network, be sure to get enough exercise and sleep, and learn how to relax. That was all. Thanks for watching.